Hello, welcome to Mountain Craft Studio. My name's Christine. Come on in and I'll show you what I've been working on. Hi YouTube friends, it's that time of year to take stock and figure out what our plans are for the coming year, and I have been doing that, and I think I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach on how I do things with cross stitch this year. I watched Daisy K Primitives, Christy, and she had decided she was going to allow herself to have 12 different samplers, one for each month that she was going to work on. And in the past, I have always been pretty much stuck to one or two things that I'm working on all at one time, and I definitely didn't have, a lot of samplers. I would be kind of focused on the one sampler and then have several smalls or something like that. And I started thinking about it after watching her and some other WIP parades. And I was thinking, why not? Like, I get tired of looking at some of my projects. Like, these big samplers, it's like, okay, I just don't want to look at it anymore. I want to move on to something else generally. And so why not allow yourself that luxury of doing that? I'd probably have a lot more of my pieces that I've made in the past still, had I taken a break and only worked on it here and there as I felt like it. But instead, there were so many pieces that by the time I was done stitching them, I didn't want to see them again. So I decided I don't have a lot of things this year that are going to be given away or that I have deadlines on. So why not? I think that's where I'm headed. I think I'm going to get 12 different samplers going, and along with some of my WIPs that are smalls, and go from there. I think it's a plan. One of the things that I'm going to do that I decided I talked about in my last episode, and that is the Stitch a Day sampler. So that's something that I'm going to sit down every day. So far I've been doing really well with it. Of course, it's only, 6 days. But it's still, I've kept up. And I've been super happy with it, and I want to, first I'll show you, this is where I'm at with the 6 days worth. So one day you'll have the outline of the block, and then the next day you'll have the center kind of thing as it goes through, and you'll end up, with something that looks like a quilt by the time you're done, and you'll learn all kinds of different stitches. I'm loving this. These are, actually I'll just show you the whole thing. So I'm keeping it, since I'm going to be using this every day. I have this old binder. It was my son's in school, and I have repurposed it to, it has the folders in it. The first folder I have just, a pen, my little hoop. There's a little Dawn's business card has measurements on it, and so I thought I would use that when I first started. It's been handy, and then it's also there for me if I have questions. These are the flosses that I changed mine to. Hold them up a little bit closer so that you can see them. These are some of my favorite colors, so that will definitely keep me motivated. This is what the sampler looks like, or will look like when it's done. And then as these pages go on, they have like the instructions and whatnot, a whole chart. And then the back, it's like a book. There are 365 stitches in this thing. So that's the reason I decided to keep it in here. I hole punched it, kept it all together, and then added a couple things in the back. I've got some grid paper and another, I think, ruled paper just in case I have notes or something like that I want to, or brilliant ideas. You never know when you might have a brilliant idea and need to jot that down. So this has been one of my goals for the year, and I'm super, super happy with it. So that is, it's done by Morning Glory Needleworks. I'll leave her information below if you haven't already checked her out. She has amazing, she does an amazing job with her YouTube videos. She uses chapters so you can go right to what you want. And she just has really, really interesting things that she talks about over there. And great patterns. I have several that I've used already. Okay. So I decided if I'm going to be working in January and it's all bleak and gross outside, because I am in Indiana, so that means all the grass is dead. The only thing green left are some of the evergreens, which of course aren't native to this particular part of the country, so there aren't very many of them. So it's pretty blah out there. So I decided I wanted some color to work on in January. So this is my sampler. I'm doing, I started this January 1st. It's Harriet Elizabeth Coe. Isn't she gorgeous? So I originally started this because watching Carol, the Saltbox Stitcher, she always has this behind her, and she always picks one sampler to work on the whole month of January. And so that's how this whole process started. I decided, by golly, I am going to do exactly like Carol does, and I'm going to get that sampler that she has on her wall. And then one thing led to another. I thought, why not do it all the time? So this is my start. I've only worked on about 3 days so far. This is on 32 count. It's Shrekie's Tan from Needle Bling Designs, and it's been a long time since I've stitched on 32 count, and it's been a long time since I've stitched 2/1 or 2/2. I mean, so this has just been. I feel like I'm, in warp speed all of a sudden stitching something that fast that you get so much color all at once. It's kind of nice. The colors in this are glorious. This is definitely gives me something to enjoy in the summer or in the winter. So I'm pleased with that. I'll get some more progress. I had a couple other things I was working on, but now this will be my focus piece for the rest of the month. And I have it in my super colorful bag. Where am I going to put these? Okay. I'll just toss them on the floor. The next one up, another super colorful, because of course February's not going to be, any less drab. This one has some hearts on it too. Notice how I did that? I am going to be working on, I've showed this in the past. This is Above All by Teresa Kogut. I love this. One of the things that I love most about this is the reds. I love it, but I want this to go in my bedroom, and this would not look good against the wall color. I have the wall color in my bedroom is called Reddish. That's the actual name, Reddish. And so it just wasn't gonna work. It was gonna be too matchy-matchy. And so I had purchased this little crazy piece of fabric from a friend of mine that has very similar designs on it, and it has the colors that I want to introduce into the bedroom. How cool is that? I mean, it looks just like the same guy and the same woman and the same guy. Anyway, so I have altered the colors, and we'll see how this goes. I generally always trust the designer because there's a reason I'm impressed with whatever they've put out. And generally it's the colors, so I don't change colors too often. But I went through and substituted some of the colors. Some are the same, but some are going to be, I substituted the reds out for some blues. And we'll see how it goes. I'm stitching it on Cappuccino, Fiber on a Whim. I've not started this one yet. I'll start it at the beginning of the month. There you go. It's a little better. So, onward. And while I'll show all the samplers first, and then I'll go back and show the smalls. I always have something a little small on the go. It gives you that little break if you need to. I find that I'll sometimes need to put samplers in timeout, and I need something else to work on while they're sitting there. The next one I have not started either. I'm going to allow myself a new start. This is a gift to me for 2023. By Shakespeare, it's Mary Bate, 1796, by Shakespeare's Peddler. See if I can get the glare. I didn't realize it was going to be that glary. So pretty. I love the verse about the human soul without education. Love it. I'm using Weeks Beige. I have DMCs picked out for these. It calls for silks as well if you wanted to go with silks. But I decided on this one I will definitely be going DMC because I have another one coming up that's going to go all out on silk, and it's going to be glorious. So that's March. April. Let's see. Oh, I didn't bring it. April, you've seen this a million times, so I don't need to show it to you. It's Merrily We Welcome Spring by Blackbird Designs. I don't have the color photo, I only have the chart, but I'll show you. This is where I'm at so far. I started this back in like 2020. And obviously I had it on my scroll frame and decided it was starting to cause pain in my neck where I had to try to get it. It was too close to the edge, so I took it off thinking I would put it in the hoop and get a little bit more on there, and then I'd get right back to it, and it's 2023 now, so but I love these colors, and my guest room is pretty much going to be all Blackbird, so I need to get on this to get this one up on the wall. Love it. I'm not sure what this fabric is. It's whatever it's called for. Same with the flosses. And it's in my Blackbird bag. Every time I pull that out, I look at those colors and I'm like, oh yes, I love it. This is basically the color inside of my farmhouse. The main reason this year I said I can just stitch on samplers forever, I don't really care if I get them finished right away, is that the inside of the house isn't done yet. Every room needs painted and fixed and everything else, so I'm not in a huge hurry to get them into frames and up on the wall, so why not enjoy a luxurious slow stitch. Forgot to print the color one on this. This is Remember Me by Teresa Coca, and hopefully you've seen this a million times. The color, when I saw this, my mouth hit the table. It was so beautiful. I love this. The colors are actually they're really similar to the other one, the one I just showed you. I hadn't really thought about that, but they are super pretty. What is going on here? Here we go. I've chosen Nantucket out of the Color and Cotton club. And these are the colors. Super pretty. Going with DMCs, except for, I think there's two, which is what she called for. There's two that are, well, there's one from Classic Colorworks and one from Weeks Dye Works. I believe. Anyway, if you're interested in this at all and you haven't seen the color version, you should definitely just go look it up, go Google that and see it, because it's just so beautiful. So pretty. So that will make me happy to stitch on, just because, you know, I like the colors. That fabric is gorgeous. Nantucket Color and Cotton. Super pretty. And this is in another one of my bags. So I separated it out. I put the samplers in the cloth bags, and then my smalls are in the zipper plastic bags. I find that I love the cloth bags, being a quilter and a, you know, just a fabric enthusiast overall. But the cat hair just clings to it like crazy. So trying to figure out, I've been putting my floss inside the little zipper plastic bags, because then at least it won't get on the floss, which helps. Here is the one that's going to be in silks and is going to be glorious. This is the Scarlet Letter. It's Elizabeth Simon. Let's see if I can get this. Done in silks. It's stunning. If you go to the website, Scarlet Letter website, you can see how reflective all of it is, and it's just jaw-droppingly beautiful. I'm using Picture This Plus Relic, 36 count. The fabric. I did not pull the silks for this. I'm sure I have some, but I'm sure I'm going to need to get some more, because there's quite a few in there. Let's see what they do have it listed for DMCs as well. But this is one, the sheen on this one, because of the type of stitching, there's quite a bit of satin stitch in this. It will look just amazing with the silks. Totally worth investment in silks. And this one is also going to be a new start. There's spoiling myself for a few months there. See, my goodness, what have I got going on here? So this is in my Harriet bag. This is from the Wishing Thorn. I'm stitching Harriet McEwen, the sampler. This is the one that I just went nuts over when it was first released. Super pretty. I like the flowers, I like the colors, I like the fact that, you know, it's symmetrical. I'm big into things being symmetrical. Probably my son is on the autism spectrum. I'm pretty sure I have a little bit of that myself. So this is sheep's straw, I think. Yep, sheep straw. And here are some of the colors. Someday I'm gonna run out of DMC on bobbins. Someday. Maybe not. Oh, I've had them for 40 years, maybe not. Anyway, these are the colors. Super excited. Gonna love that one. So the next one is something different. The pattern, This is one of Jacob's patterns, Modern Folk Embroidery. The Zimmerman coverlet. I love this as a weaver. I think it's fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So the chart is actually just one of these repeats, right? And then if he shows it here repeated 3 times. So I started looking at it. I have a tray, a serving tray. Okay, it has the little handles here. There's a piece of glass that normally goes in here, but it was dirty, so I took it off so I can clean it. It used to have a piece of fabric underneath that glass, an old vintage piece of fabric, and it was beautiful. It was kind of a damask fabric, but an accident happened, something spilled, and it got on the fabric, and it ruined it was just on a piece of cardboard. Needless to say, that cardboard soaked up the liquid, and I had to remove it. So ever since then, I've been thinking, I'm going to stitch something to put in here. I don't know what. So I pulled this out, and I did the math with the chart, and it will fit in there perfectly once. So it'll look like the bottom one time. Width-wise, it fits perfectly. It doesn't quite fit top to bottom, but what I can do is just repeat, right? The top and the bottom, have it however many lines I need to, right, in order to make it look all symmetrical. But I think it's going to be fabulous. I'm using Picture This Plus Wren as my fabric because I thought it will look good with the wood tone. And I'm using 3750 blue. That's my floss. Really looking forward to doing this one. I've wanted to get this project done for a while, so. That will be good. I'm also going to the Jacob Palooza in October, so I know that's another project I'll be adding to this list. So as I go through here, I do want to point out that there's a disclaimer, fine print. This is not a contract. It's not a binding contract. If I feel like I don't really want to work on that, I don't have to. I had a high-stress career when I was younger. I don't need that at this point in my life, so there's no pressure. If I want to change it up and do something else, I will. But these are my WIP goals, so we'll see. It's just a goal, not a contract. We have in this bag another beautiful bag. This is okay. Well, this is Rosina Dizery. This by ABC. ABC something works. It came out just this last year. It's really pretty. I'm making this one for my granddaughter. So and she's only 9, so it's not something that she wants right now. So I'm in no big hurry, but it's beautiful. I'm starting to sense a trend on my colors here I do like the soft, subtle colors, but it's funny because I also like the bright, not necessarily neon, but I like saturated. Let me put it. I like saturated colors. I love red, so I'm kind of shocked that I don't have more red in this lineup right now. I have to do something about that. Maybe all my smalls will be red. This also doesn't include all the other crafts that I have. I'm definitely multi-craftual, so there's still going to be knitting and quilting and everything else. This is just what I'm doing in the evening after I'm too tired to do anything else. This is exactly what that is. We have another beautiful bag and my unicorn chart. So This is obviously Elizabeth Easton. Isn't she beautiful? I have delayed getting this one started because I kept looking at the original online instead of, this is when she charted this, she made it in an adaptation. The original actually had this part coming all the way down and going here where there was one of these baskets, right? And then the flowers went up and around. And there was also more text. There was another text box under here. So I seriously considered making it more closer to the original and also doing some embroidery stitches instead of the cross stitches. I think I've talked myself out of it. I think I'm going purely with what this chart is, but we'll see. You never know with me. I'm not very good at following rules. But I have chosen Dirty Teacup by Needle and Flax as my fabric. These are some of the flosses. The colors are very fall, so that's why I pushed this back to October. There's another one that seems to keep falling off. Either way, whether I do it with exactly as written or if I do the adaptation, it's going to be beautiful. I love that style of Santa. Next up is, this was, I think I just showed this on the last one. This is the bag that goes to the Coming to America pattern. Tammy Blaylock gave me the bag. This is the pattern, Coming to America. This obviously is a priority on my list because it does have my ancestor listed on there. So I feel obligated. That's where I'm at right now. This, I've decided I'm definitely working on it every November. And if I feel like working on it during other parts of the year, I will, but that's how I'm gonna work this one, I think. It's on Vintage Country Mocha with all the called for flosses, which are in my handy bag that my friend Diane gave me. Anyway. The colors are beautiful. I really like this shade of pink evidently because I noticed in a lot of my projects that this seems to be, and the greens, these sagey greens. I'm definitely into the sagey greens. Anyway, this will be with me for a while, but it's going to be so nice to have it done. Okay, so that means December, I should probably do something holiday related. I don't decorate a ton with holiday specifics like October. I decorate more in fall and not necessarily Halloween. I don't do tons for Christmas. I keep it very simple. I just like, you know, greenery and things from nature and that sort of stuff primarily. But there are some things that I see and I'm like, oh, I love that. And so this is in my Kim Deal bag. It's another one with some fun fabric on the inside. And when I saw this at Country Sampler in their newsletter or whatever, look at that. I love that. That is awesome. This is big enough that I'm going to make a throw pillow out of it for my living room. I think it's lovely. I have the 36 count ale, which is what it gets stitched on. And I haven't decided on the colors yet. The only one I've agreed to is the dark. The reds and the greens on this pattern are a little more, they're not as earthy, I guess I should say, than what I am used to. But I will, at some point this year, I'll go and take this to the store with me and compare these colors to some others, and we'll see where I go with that. Love the chart. Love the look overall. I'm just not so sure about that green. Seems a little bright, but it might be the right thing. You never know. So I really need to sometimes remind myself the pop of color is a good thing. Okay. So I have a few fun things. Now we're moving on to the smalls, and we're back in January. It's fun to time travel like this. So we have, I showed this a while back. I bought this little pattern at House of Stitches on my little fall retreat. And so I bought it as a little souvenir. It gets stitched and then placed on top of this little basket. And so far, I just need to finish the little house and the fence and put in a few trees. The fence and the trees are 1/1, which is fine with me, but boy, it's tiny. So getting there on this fun little thing. This pattern actually called for 20 different flosses. I was like, maybe not. For something this small. That seems a little crazy. But it's a lot. There are a lot of different things. You could certainly, it's only, so far I'm only using one strand of each color, so it's definitely not something where you need to go out and buy all the flosses for. So that's, again, it's Through the Woods by Fancy Work. Fine Needlework Designs by Jane Timmers. Very cute. I have several of these baskets. As a basket maker, I know how difficult it is to make these baskets, so I appreciate something like that. I think it's very cute. I have a shelf in my living room that has 3 or 4 shelves that I keep pin cushions and that whatnot on, and that'll join all of those. Sorry about the zipper. I keep forgetting about the zippers. The next project I'm working on is something with a fun finish as well. The multiplication table with my needle. I showed this before. There you go. You see it? I love this. So when I was a little girl, we used to go to all kinds of living history type things. It was the 70s, and you know, they were kind of all over. And at one point, somewhere, I had purchased a souvenir, and it was a small horn book like this. And I can't remember. I think it just had, I think it had the alphabet and some phrases. Maybe it was, may have been Psalms. I don't know. Anyway, I love that little thing. I wish I still had that. It looked real, although it definitely wasn't, because somebody gave it to me to play with. But I had, at my cabin, I have a schoolmaster's desk, and I have things, I have like an old school bell and an old slate and some old primers and that sort of thing that decorate that desk. And I thought this would be great to have on there as well. I started it and I made sure it was, I wanted to check the width because I also bought the frame to go with it. So it's really going to be wonderful to have that on there. I love it. It'll be very cool. I didn't have the exact called for fabric or flosses, so I've subbed those out because I think it called for, yeah, it called for Lakeside Meadow Rue, which is rarer than hen's teeth nowadays. And so I think I substituted parchment, which is, you know, kind of what it would have been printed on if it were real. And then I have onyx and tin bucket as my colors. So it'll kind of look inky, but faded. Hoping to get that one done. That's all over. It's completely over one over one. And I'm not having any problem at all seeing it. So hopefully I'll keep breezing through that. It is a project. I had originally thought I would take it with me to the cabin and stitch on it there, but there's no way. The lighting is not good enough. I'll have to definitely have to keep it here. And then the next one, this will amuse some people. So if you watched my first episode ever, my first Flosstube, I discussed my oldest WIP. And I figured out then that it was 42 years old. And now it's 43. It's been well over a year. So I just decided it's time. It's time. It's time. Like, this is embarrassing. So I'm doing it. I'm going to finish it. I started this when I was a little girl. I was going to give it to my mother. It says, God can't always be everywhere, so he invented mothers. I only need to do satin stitch over the M and the G. That's it. That's all that was left. And I never finished it. It's since had stains. I had a metal embroidery hoop, and I had left it on there for too long, and then it actually rusted somewhere along the line. So I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to wash it to see if that comes out. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to do some Rit tan dye over it, just to make it look vintage, because at this point it is nearly an antique. But I was able to find match up the right color of purple for those letters, and I just decided that's it. I'm gonna make it happen, and this will be gifted to my daughter, who's currently a mother. So I'm doing it. Actually, this goes up there. The 43 years might be a bit excessive, so I have a few other WIPs that are old, but they're not that old. This next one is technically a sampler, but I was gonna grab that, I forgot. This is another one I don't have the maybe I will. This is Anne Gould 1821. This is the top of the sampler. You can see it's going to be small, so I consider this a small. It has gorgeous colors. I'll try to insert a picture of the chart so that you can, or of the cover, so that you can see what it's supposed to look like when I edit. But look at these beautiful colors. I love these. It is and always will be my favorite style. It's just the simple marking samplers that the little girls used to do in school or whatever. Love those. I've had this one started for maybe a couple of years, so it's time to get moving on that one. So along with half the rest of us, I purchased a maker and a mender bead, or the maker and mender, I should say. Brenda Gervais. Again, these are my colors right there. Love those. I decided I'm going to use Winter Brew, 36 count Winter Brew. I don't have all of I have some of the flosses, but not all of them picked out yet. And the reason I went ahead and snapped this up, my husband gets some gifts at Christmas sent to him by companies he does business with, or coworkers or whatever, and one of them came with food. You know, it was one of those cheese and cracker type deals, and it came on this little tray, and I was like, ooh. I want that. I'm gonna paint it, and then I'm gonna put this on top of it so that it's just, I can take it with me wherever I'm at, and I can, you know, use it for my scissor, my flosses, whatever. I can just set it down, and I think it'll be gorgeous. I don't know what color I'll paint it, but that's my plan for that one. And my next one is in a Creative Country Girl Tammy bag. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that fabric. What have we got in here? Oh yes, the Flower Pot Roll Up by Lottie Da. I love this. This is 100% me. I'm doing it on Weeks Gray. She's in the back, and I'm using the spring colorway. I think there's a spring and a fall that you could do, but I have to have some little sewing goodies to work on. I like that. Why do I keep wanting to put that down? This is another one that I'm working on. I started this a while back. I have a fun finish for this one. It's the My Home Scissor Box from Blackbird Designs. It doesn't say which book it comes out of. It's got to be from the sewing series book. And I only have a little teeny tiny start. You can see that's the roof of the little house. So I have a fun finish, which you're gonna like for this one. The colors, of course, are gorgeous because it's Blackbird. Pretty. And it's done on a 28 count raw over 1, which is why it only has a roof. I can do it. I have no problem. I can even do it without a magnifier or without wearing the magnifiers, but I have to have good light. And then the next one, this is, my sister-in-law gave me a project bag for Christmas. I love it. Too funny. I know what this is. This is Prairie Schooler Barnyard Christmas. This was going to be my 25th day of the month stitch for all of last year. And I started out great in the beginning. This is the even weave fabric, and I started stitching the first one, but that is going to be huge. So it's the fabric that is called for. Evidently, they're meant to be that huge, but it's too big for my tree to go with my ornaments. So I thought, well, I'll just do it over 1, right? Then it'll be microscopic, it'll be small. So at that point I was like, you know what, I'll go look for new fabric and figure something out, and I'll, do something with this one. But it's just time to move on. Well, I didn't get out there, didn't get the fabric chosen, and then at some point in here, this was Agnes. Agnes likes to dump things off the table. So I'm not worried about it. I'm sure that'll come out. I'll wash it out before I do another project. But this fabric's getting reassigned. And you can even see the pattern got wet. Whoa. Turkey! She is so cute. She's doing great. For anybody that wants an update, she still sounds like, the hacking is really what gets me. So sometimes I call her Weezer. But she's doing well. She's getting super playful. She's starting to become friends with Rosie, the dog. If they're just still trying to understand each other, because Rosie really wants to play with her, but Rosie wants to play like a dog. Agnes is like, I want to play, but I'm not so sure. This is fun. This seems like you're going to eat me. So they're still trying to, you know, break down the walls of communication there so that they understand each other. But I think they're going to be great friends. And then Maud and Ethel, they just sit because they're the older ones. There's one's 10 and one's 17, and they just sit and look at them like they're both idiots. So actually, we've had some serious scares with Ethel, and she's been at the vet several times lately for some very expensive treatments, but she's going to be good. She just has, I think, irritable bowel disease, so she kind of just hangs out in my bedroom by herself for a while every day, just so she doesn't have to deal with the kids. Funny creature. So this next one is another Blackbird Designs project that I'm working on. It's The Last Rose of Summer. Man, I should just get this done. It's not that much left. Everybody says that about everything, but man, that's pretty. So pretty. This is going to be a really fun finish. Here's what they did with it. Right? They put it on in an oval, and they put it on top of a book box, I think. Yeah. Gorgeous. But I decided I was going to put it on the side of a bag. A knitting bag. So, again, these are some of those gorgeous soft colors that I love so much. Beautiful. And then these are some of the fabrics that are going to go into the bag. And so it's going to be a drawstring bag at the top with an oval. Let's see if I have it marked. Yep. Like this. And this came from, the idea came from the big book of hand embroidered projects. This is a Martingale book. They are, as of yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Yesterday, day before. What day is it? I don't even know what day it is. Anyway, Martingale just announced that they're going out of business. So if you want this, it is still available, or it was 2 days ago. You need to hurry up and go get it, because they don't, what's printed is printed. It won't get printed again. So lots of fun projects in there that can be adapted to cross stitch, or there's embroidery projects as well. So last chance, last call for that hand embroidery book. So that brings us up, we're getting to these fall projects again. That would have been August. This is September. Oh, better put the pattern in there. Yeah, so this is going to be September. I don't have everything else. I just have the book right here because it's all in the house. I'm bound to determine I was going to do something from this book. I want to do it all, but I am absolutely doing this one this year. It's beautiful. I love that. And that is Bittersweet September, which is a perfect name for it. So that'll be happening. I don't have much started. I think I have like just a tiny bit of the top border going. So that's October. No, that's September. This is October. So again, this is a sampler, but it's tiny. So this is Betsy Snyder. Super cute little sampler. Love it. I haven't started this one yet. It's just been sitting in a bag ready to be started. It has I bought this as a kit from Country Sampler, so it has It came kitted with Winter Brew as the fabric, along with these colors. I love these. This will look good in the bedroom as well with the other Teresa Koga project. Perfect colors. And then I started this. How much of this did I get done? I started Needfuls, which was going around. Everybody had there for a while. This was by the Scarlet House. I had all the little pillows. I have the first one done. The first one done. I changed the name to my family because they were weavers in that area. And then I started on the next one. These are those more saturated colors that I like so much. So much. It's done on baked clay. Curious about the linen. This is one that I won't necessarily wait until the end of the year to work on it. It's just gonna be one that I pick up. I like all of the designs in there because it is something that you can just take up, consider it like a palette cleanser between other projects and just do a little bit at a time. This is a Merry Christmas sampler. La-di-da. I started this last December. Worked on it for quite a while. Because I do enjoy stitching in the season. I want to stitch Christmas during December. I want to stitch, fall during November, that sort of thing. And so this is how much I was able to get done in December. This one I'm kicking around. Do I make this my 25th day stitch and try to get it finished before December? I think I might, because if you look at the pattern, there's not that much left. The border and the alphabets and stuff. I think that's what I'll do. I think I will consider that my 25th day. And that means I get to do something else in December. Pretty. Okay. And I think that's it for my WIPs. I know a lot of people have a lot more WIPs than I do, and this is the most I've ever had from a cross-stitch perspective. But these are the things that I plan to be working on this year in the evening, like I said. I may not get any of them finished, but that's not really the point. The point this year for me is to enjoy stitching on them. There were a couple others that I really, really want to get to. I Had a Father, Kind and True was way up there on my list, but she's big and beautiful, and I decided not to put her on my goals simply because I don't have the right fabric. So the other thing that I'm trying to do is I've actually I downloaded the X-Stitch app for my phone and I've been adding in all my charts and my fabrics to try to make sure that I know what I have, so I don't buy things again. And after doing that, I've pretty much decided I really don't need to buy anything. Need is a relative term, but I'm going to get started soon on some. I'm not going to put all of my flosses in it, but I will do my silks at least, and I might do some of my over-dyed, just because, those are a little spendier. I always thought, well, I'll use it eventually, for flosses, but anyway, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. I hope you're enjoying your winter so far, and that you're working on things that bring you peace and happiness throughout this new year. I'll see you again next time. Thanks for stopping by.